I hear the clock downstairs, so it must be noontime, which is lunchtime here in Chesapeake, Virginia. My name is Colleen Magness, and today you are creating with Colleen. So I really appreciate you joining me. And we are going to do some fun cards today. I have been trying to decide when would be the best time to actually show these cards, because it uses the shimmer paint, which is in the annual catalog, but at the same time it uses our blending brushes. Now the blending brushes are wonderful. They are in the new catalog, but unfortunately they are not orderable at the moment. So basically what happened was they were so popular that we can't get them yet. Hey Lee, thanks for joining me for lunch. You know the blending brushes, let me show them to you. They come 3 to a pack and there's only $12. So they look like this and they are as soft as they can be, and you use them to blend your colors and also to blend shimmer paint, which is what we are going to do today. Now the blending brushes, even though they're not available, they do expect them on April 12th, the week of April 12th. So you can't order these today, but just put them on your wish list because you're going to need them. So hello Kay, hey Lynn. I'm so glad that y'all could join me today for lunch. I was explaining I wasn't sure when to do these because one item you can't order right now, but the shimmer paint is retiring. So today is the day that I'm going to share with you shimmer paint. Hey Barb, hope you all brought your sandwiches with you. My stomach's growling, so I hope you don't hear it. But I'll grab lunch after this. So what shimmer paint is, see how beautiful this paper is? I just painted cardstock with shimmer paint. But you all know my go-to in everything I do has always been the champagne mist. I love the champagne mist because, as I've always taught you, you just mix it with 70% alcohol. You put it in a spray bottle. There is no exact measurement. Put a couple drops in there, shake it up, and spray something. And if you like it, you could add more. Just remember, you can't take any out. So it's better to use less first. Now, do you hear that little bearing in there? It's almost like a paint shaker can. I love it. But basically, that is in your champagne mist. Hear it in there? Hear it in there? That was a happy accident because one day I was actually pouring the last bit of it in there and the ball went in there. But you always want to shake this before you use it because it will settle at the bottom. Hello, Janet and Donna. If you don't have champagne mist, it's retiring. You need to get it now. And the best thing is it's marked down to like $4.50. It's half price. So whenever I stamp something, I always take my mist, spray it, and it just gives that little bit of an extra bling. And so hopefully you can see that in the screen. If not, you just have to trust me. But it's gorgeous. It's just, you know, it dries right away because the alcohol evaporates. It does not rub off. Oh yeah, you can see it. So that is champagne shimmer paint. Now keep in mind, you can even paint with these also. That's what they were intended for, I think. It's just that everybody always finds another purpose. So with this, that is the champagne. And then you also have the Frost White. So I use the Frost White in the same way. One, of course, the champagne has a gold tint. The Frost White has a white tint, you know, sparkle to it. But both are gorgeous. But I'm going to show you another way to use the Frost White Shimmer Paint today. Hello, Tracy. Glad you're with us. Well, we have a good crowd today. The Champagne Shimmer Paint is actually on page 146 of the annual catalog. You would hardly ever find it. It's right up here. It's number 8 in the top, real tiny. But as I had marked up my calendar in the other video, okay, you could see the Champagne Mist, is $4.80, which is a bargain. And then the Frost White is actually $8. And it will last you a long time. I hate to see it go because it really is my go-to, and I might not be able to use the champagne shimmer in my videos because, of course, I usually don't show what I can't sell. But if you hear this in the background, you know that I'm using it anyways. You guys will know my secret. So let me show you today what we are creating with. I am using on page 42, this did make the new catalog, which I'm so happy. It is a wonderful suite. It's called Sand and Sea. So as you know, the annual catalog actually expires May 3rd, but all retiring items are only while supplies last. Kind of the same with the mini catalog, but thankfully the mini catalog goes through the end of June. So there's actually an entire suite of products that go with the Sand and Sea suite, from stickers to shimmer paint, shimmer paper, which we're going to make our own, to the opal rounds, to this amazing Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set, the Seashells stamps, getting so excited I'm getting ahead of myself. Seashells 3D embossing folder. So this is what we are using today, and I'm basically going to show you the technique today, and then I'm going to finish the cards, and then I will put them on my blog and on my Facebook page, so you have to come back to see them finished. But this is the look that you're going to get. So let me show you how I did this paper, and then don't leave, because I'm going to show you a lot of other samples and folders with different colors cardstock doing this technique. So what I'm going to use first, I'm going to create both of these cards, each in a different way. And what I mean is, I have some people, even on my team, right, Chris, who are afraid of 1/8 inches. They like standard inches. So basically what I have here, when I first created this card, and this is using the Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay cardstock, two of my absolute favorites. I did it really basically, so, which is fine, so I'm going to create it like that. So what you have, this is just your standard 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Sorry I didn't write that down for you, it's just a half a sheet of cardstock. This is, we go down one more size. This is actually 5 1/4 by 4 of the Bermuda Bay. And then this piece here is the only piece that changes between the two ways I'm going to show you to make this card. So for example, this is Coastal Cabana, and it is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And when you create it this size, we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it 1.5 inches off of each end. Just come in, so that makes this a little bit bigger. But to keep it symmetrical, it's 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. But what I did is I did 1/8 of an inch in between, and that's very symmetrical. So on the horizontal card, I didn't think it looked too bad. It was, not too gappy. But if you're not afraid of 1/8 inches, all I did was make this 1/8 inch longer. So now, if you look at this one, see how the interior lines are a little bit thinner? So all this was 4 7/8 by 3 3/4, cut the same, 1.5, 1.5. And all that did was not make it so symmetrical, bam, bam, bam. It kind of brought it in where these were thinner, and that was a little bit thicker. So for the horizontal card, I am going to show you the standard way. And then for the vertical card, I will show you the thinner lines that are in the center. So to create, let me get these here. To create this beautiful centerpiece with the shells, you are going to take your 4 3/4 by 3 3/4 of the Coastal Cabana, and you're going to take your blending brushes. Now, you can put this on a glass plate, you can put it on a CD, if anybody still has those. You can take one of the older containers we have, and basically you're just going to shake up the shimmer paint. And by the way, now that I'm thinking of it, this technique I think originally was done by Linda Heller, who is an amazing stamper. But I think she first originated and shared doing this. We all should have thought about it because it was brilliant, but I guess we're not as brilliant as her, but we know to follow her. So here you have your Frost White, and I'm just putting it in one of the lids. Just going to put a little drop in there. Whew, maybe a little bit bigger drop. And then you're going to take your blending brush, just dab it in here, and just rub it on here in circular motion. And you can see how it's changing the look of this. It's giving it that gorgeous white shimmer. And I'm just going to put this all the way around. Oh, I thought I had too much. I might need a little bit more. So if you're doing it with the shimmer white, definitely order a couple of these. They will last for years. I've had shimmer paint. We carried it a while back, then they retired it, but you know, I never got rid of mine because I loved it. And then they brought it back and I had it and it worked fine. But you're just going to rub this all around. And if you have places where your fingerprints are, just lightly rub that. Now to store your brush, because this will get hard on there, get yourself either some tin foil or I just use a little zip bag. And then I wrap it around here and I twist it because I don't want this to dry out on me. I want it to stay moist. So I just flip that and then I even seal the bag to make sure nothing gets on here, and then it'll stay moist for the next time. But now that you have this, it really dries just that quick. I am going to emboss it. So I am actually using the Seashells embossing folder. It's a 3D folder and it is gorgeous. So I will place it in here, and you can place it when you're looking on here. Always hold it up to the front so you can see where you want your shells. This one is going to be horizontal. So I can just eye it in here. I make sure I have my long shell, part of my other one down at the bottom. And then I'm just going to take it right over here to my embossing machine, my die cutting machine. I have so many things around me, it was just easier to bring it over here. And just like that, I have my piece. And it's gorgeous. Now at this point, you really have some options. You can take this, believe it or not, it's different enough. You could actually, see it's the same color on this side. You can actually mount it on the same color. And it's subtle, but it's different. That's going to be different from where your shimmer paint is. So it's really, really nice. Or you could do what I originally did, and you can take that and you can put it on Bermuda Bay, because Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay are absolutely gorgeous together. But then I thought, let me get a little bit more pop. Had them creative juices flowing, but I ran short on time. So I said, let me put it on black and see what that looks like. So that is what we are doing. So you're going to take your 5.5 by 8.5 inch sheet of cardstock. Just fold that in half. Now, as I told you, you're going to cut this. So for this one, you're actually going to cut for the horizontal 1.5 inches off on each side. And I like the center a little bit bigger. Plus, I didn't have to come up with some really funky measurement to try to get them all symmetrical. You all know, I always say I was a drafter before, and sometimes it's hard not being too symmetrical, because that's the way I saw things for 20 years. But I'm going to take this to the 1.5 inch mark. I will put it down. I'm going to cut that. And then just for ease, I'm just going to flip it over and take it to the 1.5 inch mark. And cut again. So just remember, you want the sides to go together like they were originally, like a puzzle. So I'll put these here. And then, you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it a dozen times. You don't want to push anything down until it's exactly where you want it. Especially if you are using the new Stampin' Seal, because this stuff is extremely strong. It's quite amazing, if I say so myself. So I'm just going to kind of lay that there. And whenever I do something like this, I like to do my end pieces first, because then I can kind of split the difference with my centerpiece, and it'll come out pretty easy without having to move all three. So let me put that there. Straighten this up a little bit already. And then see, then when I come to this one, I can split the difference. But honestly, to know me, y'all know I'm going to have to move these because I just think that's too gappy in the middle. So let me do it again. With this one being the standard, you can pretty much make all these the same. So eighth, eighth, eighth. Oh, I'm sorry. The size of the black piece. And I will take a picture of these like I have been doing because that's only fair. I just got rushed this morning. Barb, this piece is 5 1/4 by 4. So just kind of like when we do, you know, anything with the card. This is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. That's 5 1/4 by 4. Everything goes down in 1/4 inch increments. Good question. Thank you, Barb. And then for this piece, I will just put that in the center. So see, when you're using the standard that we talked about, when you're using the standard measurements, the 4 3/4 by 3 3/4, all this is going to be a little bit wider in between, and it's going to be symmetrical. Put this on my card base. Right here. And again, I will embellish these on the front with some words and then come back to you. So this one here, again, that's the standard for the people who don't like to use 1/8 inches. And then this one here, exact same thing, except this piece was an 1/8 inch larger. So it gave my center lines not to be so thick. So that's to do it horizontally. Now, if you want to do it vertically, see, this was the standard. This would be, this piece in the center here with your shells would be 3 1/4 by 5 inches. And then I just cut the two sides at 1 inches. So you can see how it's, again, it's a solid 1/8, very symmetrical. For this one, I am going to use that one where it's just an 1/8 inch bigger. So this piece here, I did the exact same thing that I did with the first card, but this is 3 3/8, just an 1/8 inch bigger by 5. So for this, I'm going to cut off 1 inch on each side. And y'all have heard me say before, there's a little magnet up here. I always want to use this little piece here to open it, but don't use the magnet because that's what holds this arm shut. And then that's where it's easiest to open. So for my side on the left here, that's a scoring blade. I'm going to cut 1 inches, and then I need to cut 1 inches here, so I just flip it. And 1 inch there. So that's my piece on the right. So Barb, again, this piece is the exact same. And so that we talked about before. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. Or actually 4 by 5 1/4. Let me go that way. And again, I'm going to do my sides first. But this will be a little bit closer in the center. And I kind of like those lines to be a little thinner in the center. Let me see what Tracy said. Oh, she's off to teach algebra and statistics. She'll watch the rest on the replay. You too, Tracy. You have a blessed day. I bet she's not afraid of fractions. Let me see. Ooh, good point, Donna. She says, I bet shimmer paint on Blackberry Bliss would be beautiful. I am going to show you all some different combinations when I'm done with the cards. And I would think shimmer paint on any of our colors would be great because it just gives it that frosty look. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So let me see if I like that. Still a little bit thick. Okay, let me come in just a little bit more. But yeah, I think this would work on anything. Okay, so again, keep this, and this side a good 1/8 inch. Donna, are you going to try the Blackberry Bliss and the shimmer paint? If you do, you know you have to share it with me so I can see. I know it'll be gorgeous. And again, always make sure when you are doing this. Okay, so that's symmetrical. So that must have been the standard one. But just make sure when you are doing this that, again, this carries over in the way that you cut it. So again, I'm just going to fold this in half. And now you have the same card, but it is done vertically. All right, so there you go. And again, you know, you show it on the Bermuda Bay, but I really think I'm liking the black. I think it just pops it. And then there you go for your horizontal. So I'm going to decorate those. And then I will, again, post it on my blog so you can see the finished product with words or different embellishments. So let me show you now, because you're going to love it. Again, using the Frost White, but don't forget to get the Champagne Mist. And I would get a couple of these. They are, again, only while supplies last because they are retired. $4.80 for the Champagne Mist, but I stocked up. I definitely stocked up. And then, of course, on the Frost White, that one is regular price $8, so they must not have as many of these. So, as I was saying, I used the seashell folder originally, and here it is on some different colors. So this color is Pure Pizzazz, and with the Pure Pizzazz, that is the regular color of Pure Pizzazz. So you could see you can actually mount it on the same color. If you want it to be nice and subtle, but still distinctive. And then, if not, you know, me and my greens, I'm happy with this. This one is Mossy Meadow. And I think the Mossy Meadow just makes this pop. So this was with the seashell folder. I did use the seashell folder on this one too. I got a little carried away. So this here is actually Seaside Spray. This is an in color that is retiring. Yes, Barb said, let us know when we can order the folder. Yes, I will check that immediately after this, Barb, and post on the Facebook page. The folder was also not orderable, but they had said the week of April 5th. So unless that changed, which I don't think it has, I plan on the week of April 5th. But I will keep you posted that because I know Lynn has her eye on this folder too. So this here is the Seaside Spray. But you want to talk about something gorgeous, add in some Night of Navy. This is another color I wish was staying, but you know, we can always hope when Stampin' Up! Does a color refresh, they do them about every 5 years, that they'll bring some of these in colors back, because this just goes awesome with Night of Navy. And even just to have the shimmer white on the on the Night of Navy is also gorgeous. Then I said, let me try a different folder. So this is the Painted Texture folder, which is, this folder rocks. I'm telling you, you could go with anything. And so with this one, I actually used Calypso Coral. Can't say it, but that's what I used. And with this texture, I mean, it looks just like it was painted with the shimmer paint. So this is Calypso Coral. So again, you could put one color right on the same. They complement, they're the same hues, so they work great. But then I thought this one also goes pretty well with Cajun Craze. The cool thing about putting it with Cajun Craze is it took on a little more of a rust tone. And then just for fun, I kind of put it up against the Merry Merlot. And I thought even those two colors, they went really, really well together. Now this folder, this is called Seabed. This is a nice, again, coastal folder. It just looks like a seabed with all the seaweed and the starfish. It's really pretty. This is retiring and it's been marked down to $9. So this is the Seabed folder. And I actually put it on the Misty Moonlight, which is an in color that will carry over for another year. So this color stays in, but that is the Misty Moonlight on Misty Moonlight. So it goes pretty well. But then again, if you want a lighter touch, you could put it with the Seaside Spray. I don't think it pulled out the color as much, but you know what does? Night of Navy. Good old Night of Navy. What would we do without it? We better never find out, I hope. So that is with the Night of Navy. And then I have one more for you. You can see why I didn't get the front of my cards decorated. I was having too much fun this morning putting all these together. This is Highland Heather, and I think this is a must-have folder that is retiring. It is called Tin Tile Dynamic. So I've seen it with a country look. It's tin tile, let's face it. Just love it. So this is Highland Heather, one of our beautiful purples that we have, and it worked great. So you could put Highland Heather on Highland Heather. And I think this was one of those that even though it was the same color, I felt like it stood out really, really well. But let's face it, nothing goes better with Highland Heather than Gorgeous Grape. These colors here, these are some yummy colors. But you could see how you can use the shimmer paint with any color cardstock, any folder. You know, even our foil papers that we have, when you emboss them, they're just stunning. So why not kind of make your own foil paper by getting the shimmer paint? So I hope you enjoyed this today. Again, I wasn't sure when to show it because the folder is non-orderable with the blending brushes, but then I was scared because I thought, what happens if the shimmer paints sell out? So it is what it is. You can put it on your current wish list, and then you can put those on your future wish list. And I will post when the blending brushes and the seashell folder are available. But thank you so much for joining me. If you are going to place an order and your order is less than $150, you can use my host code right up here. And then if it's over $150, you know you get the free host benefits yourself. But either way, you'll get a special thank you in the mail from me. So I hope you enjoyed it today. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. And if you don't currently get my newsletter, please go to creatingwithcolleen.com and sign up for that. And I will also post this into a YouTube video. So please check out my Creating with Colleen Magness YouTube channel. All of your support means so much, and it helps me to continue doing what I do, which is loving to create for all of you. Oh my goodness, that even rhymed. Okay, so have a blessed day and be safe, and always, always do something creative. God bless you all. Bye-bye.